Welcome to this session. Today we want to go through the set theory item for Buganda Mock. And in this video, you are going to learn how to attempt an item of set theory. And you learn how to extract the important information from the scenario. You should now know that we need to put a title and also drawing two Venn diagrams, at the same time enclosing the overlapping circles in a rectangle. So that's what we are going to look at in today's session. And for those who have not subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and share. The scenario was 52 tourists from UK were interviewed to find out how many of them had ever visited the following national parks of Uganda: Queen Elizabeth, Kidepo Valley, and Kabalega, by a tour guide. Only 4 had visited neither parks. It was discovered that an equal number of tourists had visited Queen Elizabeth and Kidepo Valley, of whom 12 had visited both Queen Elizabeth and Kidepo Valley. 24 tourists altogether had visited Kabalega, of whom 11 had visited both Kabalega and Queen Elizabeth, and 13 had visited Kabalega and Kidepo Valley. 8 had visited all the 3 national parks. Task: help the tour guide to establish how many tourists had visited Kidepo Valley and not visited Queen Elizabeth National Park. And then part B, given that a tourist was taken at random from the list, what is the probability that they belong to the set of tourists who only visited the 2 parks? Now friends, after reading your scenario, you go ahead and extract the important information from it. In a brief, summarize your scenario. First of all, you can see that 52 tourists, that is a universal. Then we have only 4 had visited neither parks. So it means that here the number of Q, union K, union V, bracket complement is equal to 4. Then also it was discovered that an equal number had visited Queen Elizabeth and Kidepo Valley. Means that those who had visited Kidepo Valley and Queen Elizabeth were the same in number. Then 12 had visited both Queen Elizabeth and Kidepo Valley. Now that we don't have here only, please, that one you should consider also it. Then 24 tourists altogether had visited Kabalega, of whom 11 had visited both Kabalega and Queen Elizabeth, and 13 had visited Kabalega and Kidepo Valley. 8 had visited all the 3 national parks. So my universal is there as 52. Then I let the number of tourists who had visited Queen Elizabeth to be Y. At the same time, the number of tourists who had visited Kidepo Valley. Because here in this statement, they are saying that it was discovered that an equal number of tourists had visited Queen Elizabeth and Kidepo Valley. So for that case, we are going to come and we highlight this underline this statement. and Kidepo Valley. And Kidepo Valley is where you are seeing me getting all this, because they are saying that the number of those who had visited Queen Elizabeth and Kidepo Valley was the same. Then Twerov had visited both Queen Elizabeth and Kidepo Valley. For this case, we shall come and we say that, and those who had visited Kabalega were 24, and then those who had visited all the 3 national parks were 8. Q, number of Q intersection V intersection K is equal to 8. The reason as why I've brought this intersection for the 3 sets first is that so that you may not think that the number of two words so visited both Queen Elizabeth and Kidepo Valley only is 12, and as you are going to see here. Then the number of those who had visited Q, Queen Elizabeth and Kabalega is 11. And then number of those who had visited Kabalega and Kidepo only, now you have to take away this 8. You have to take away this 8. And for all students who say the number for 6, sometimes the mistake comes from here. For you think that whenever you see 11, you are just going to fix it in the region where Q intersection K only is. But in most cases, it's better you start with this one for the intersection for the 3 sets. That's why I'm taking away this 8. Those who had visited Queen Elizabeth and Kabalega then were 11. Then minus these ones who had visited other 3 national parks, there were 8. I get the answer as 3. Then those who had visited Kabalega and Kidepo Valley were 13. And those who had visited the Kabalega and the Kidepo Valley only were 13 minus 8, giving me the answer as 5. And then those who had visited Queen Elizabeth and the Kidepo Valley were 8. And then those who had visited Queen Elizabeth and the Kidepo Valley only, I have to take away those who visited other 3 national parks, 8. So 12 minus 8, I get the answer as 4. Now, I don't know those who had visited only Queen Elizabeth. I let them to be A. And then those who had visited Kidepo Valley only, I let them to be B. And then those ones who had visited Kabalega only, I said let it be C. And then those who had not visited any of the 3 national parks were 4. Now this is how I represented on a Venn diagram, and you can see that my first thing was the title. A Venn diagram showing tourists that have tourists that had visited the 3 national parks of Uganda: Queen Elizabeth, Kidepo Valley, and Kabalega. So the universal here is 52, as you can see. Then those who had visited Queen Elizabeth, why? those who had visited Depot Valley, I have also Y because they are equal in number. Then those who had visited Kabalega were 24, as you can see. Then those who had visited all the three were 8, you can see it. And then those who had visited Queen Elizabeth and Kabalega only were 3. Please don't come and put here your 11. No, still you can see that they are 11. Those who had visited Kabalega and Queen Elizabeth, they are 11. But if at all you don't see the word only, please don't go ahead and put it here. You have to subtract the value in the region for the intersection for the 3 intersecting circles, or for the 3 sets. You have to subtract the value for the intersection for the 3 sets. So that's why you are not seeing me putting here 11, but instead I'm putting there 3. Then here number of K intersection V only, I have also 5, and you can see it here, K intersection V only, I have 5. If I add these ones, it's when I get K intersection V, and it gives me 13. Then those who had visited Q and the V only were 4. You can see them here. Then those who had visited Q only A, then V only B, and then C only, that is C. And then those who had not visited the 3 national parks were 4. Now, I'm going to ask myself, how I'm seeing first of all 4 unknowns, 4 unknowns. Because I'm seeing here A, B, C, at the same time Y. And now I'm going to ask myself, is there any condition that I've put in the scenario? I'm not seeing it. But is there any set that I can use? And for you to use that given set, you have to make sure that at least you have only one unknown. If I consider this one, I have unknown B and Y. If I consider this one, I have only this one. I have unknown A and Y. If I consider this one, I have only C, because I have the value here. And make sure that if you are to add everything and equate it to universal, you have to make sure that you have only one unknown. Now you cannot come and say that A plus 3 plus 4 plus 8 plus 5 then plus C plus B plus 4 is equal to 52. Why? I'm seeing the value of A. I am seeing unknown A, unknown C, unknown B, and the equation cannot be solved well, because you have a number of unknowns. So it's better if you are to add and equate to the universal when you have only one unknown in your Venn diagram. So for that case, we are going to see how we can find now the value of C. If I can use this set K to find the value of C. 3 plus 8 plus 5 plus C is equal to 24. Now, first of all, those who had visited the Kabalega were 24. But what are those set regions making up set K? You just consider the whole circle having K. The whole set, the entire circle. This one, this one, this one, and this one. So here we shall come and we say this is C plus 3 plus 8 plus 5 is equal to 24. So if you add, here you get C plus 16 is equal to 24. Then you take away 16 from both sides and you get the answer as 8. So the value of C was 8. Now, after getting the value of C as 8, again go ahead and find the value of B, then you find the value of A. How do I get the value of 8? It means that you just come and you add this, the whole of this set is equal to Y. It means that A plus 3 plus 8 plus 4 is equal to Y. Even here you get the value of B in terms of Y, because you'll add B plus B and 5, 8 and 4, then you equate it to Y. So we shall come here and we say that B plus 8 plus this is equal to Y. So I'll get my value of B as Y minus 17. Then I get the value of A as Y minus 15. Now you can see that I have now only one unknown. That is Y. Because I've got the value of C and the value now that I've got the value of C and the value of B now is in terms of Y. So it means that now I'll have only one unknown in my equation. That's why I'm using universal. A4 plus A plus C plus B plus C plus 3 plus 4 plus 8 plus 5 is equal to 52. C is equal to 8. Then A is Y minus 15. And then B is Y minus 17. So for that case, we shall just come and we add A plus B, then plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 8 plus 5 plus 8 is equal to 52. Now here you have to collect like terms. Y plus Y, I get 2Y. Then negative 17 plus negative 15, I get negative 32. Then I come 4 plus 3, that is 7. Then plus 4, that is 11. Then plus 8, that is 19. Then 19 plus 4 plus 5, that is 24. And then plus 8, that is 32. But negative 32 plus 32, I get the answer as 0. So here we shall remain with the 2y is equal to 52. And here we shall get the value of y as 26. Here we divide by 2, and then the other side also you divide by 2. Here you can come, you divide by 2 here, and even you come this side, you divide by 2. And if you get 52 divided by 2, I get the answer as 20. So after that, you come and find the value of A, because A is equal to Y minus 17, and now my Y, A is Y minus 15, but remember my Y is now 26. So 26 minus 11, I get minus 15. 26 minus 15, I get the answer as 11. And then the value of B is Y minus 17, but my Y is 26. So 26 minus 17, I get the answer as 9. So after that, draw the final Venn diagram without a single unknown. So now this is my final Venn diagram. Venn diagram showing tourists who had visited the 3 national parks of Uganda. 52, you can see 26, 24, then here 26. 4 had not visited any of the 3. And please add all these ones and see whether you can get 24. 8 plus 8 plus 5, then plus 8 plus 3 is equal to 24. This is 16 plus 8, I get 24. Even add this. All these. This is 12, 8 plus 4, then plus 9, that is 21, then plus 5, I get 26. Nice. Then also here 11 plus 8, that is 19, plus 3, that is 22, plus 4, that is 26. And you can see that those who had visited Queen Elizabeth and the Kidepo Valley are the same. All were the same in number. Now you add all regions and see whether you get 52. First of all, the whole of this is 24. Then plus 4, 28. Then plus 4, that is 32. 32 plus 11, that is 43. Plus 9, I get 52. That's how you can confirm that your Venn diagram is right. But again, they had asked us in our task, help your tour guide to establish how many tourists had ever visited number 1, Kidepo Valley. And you can see that those who had visited Queen Elizabeth and Kidepo Valley were the same, and have got 26. So we shall come and we say that those who had visited Kidepo Valley were 26. So you give a conclusion and say that 26 tourists had visited Kidepo Valley. And then those who had not visited Queen Elizabeth were 26. Then we say 26 tourists had not visited Queen Elizabeth. Then the probability that a tourist had visited only 2 parks were 3, 4, and 5 out of 52. Then the final answer was 12 out of 52. And after that, you give a conclusion. So we shall say that the probability that a tourist picked at random had visited only 2 parks is 12 out of 52. Thanks for watching. Please, if you have not subscribed, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share for more videos. I believe everyone can pass mathematics.